Hi, thanks for coming and listening. I do appreciate it, and I really appreciate your time. So I'll just jump right into it. I I am going to just continue the discussion about me working on my roof, and it does go somewhere. I do have something tied into this, but I use the analogy of getting up on the roof. And in my previous message, I had mentioned that I was getting up on the roof. And when I was getting up on the roof the first time, and it's been years since I've been up on a roof, um, I was very tentative and my confidence was not that great. And I even questioned my sanity as to why I thought I would want to do this. Um, and then over the course of a few weeks, and I say a few weeks because I'm only working a few hours a day and not every day. When I can slip it in a few hours early in the morning and I get up there. But over the course of a few weeks, my confidence has risen right back up, almost like riding a bike, right? And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how Nelson has these human factors that he goes through. And one of them is the last one, actually, that he covers in the book is about the title of it is Use It or Lose It. And I think most of us can say that we've heard that before, and you can apply it to so many different things. And here is my little buddy joining us. Um, and here I'm just saying that I had not been up on a roof. So I had not been doing it. I had not kept my skill set up. I had not kept my confidence up about it. But over a period of time, being up there for the last 3 weeks, I have felt quite comfortable. And so just the other day, when I was up there, um, I just thought about how when I first started, it was difficult. And now I'm like waltzing around on the roof like it's really nothing. Certainly, I have ropes and I have planks, where you can stand because it's a nine pitch, what they call a nine pitch. Um, but in terms of, you can apply it to anything. But in this case, I'm going to apply it to using it or losing it. And I'm going to, so there, use it or lose it. Money flows, right? If you were to stop all the money movement on the planet for probably even just a couple days, it would have catastrophic repercussions because all commerce of any kind would stop, right? You wouldn't buy anything. Uh, so money has to flow to keep things functioning properly. The blood in our bodies has to flow. Water has to flow in rivers and in oceans, and it's flowing, uh, cleansing itself and all that kind of stuff. And so water seeks its own level, right? I mean, if it finds a sense of resistance somewhere, you block it one way, it'll find another way. And it's the same with money, in that if we have an abundance, welcoming attitude, perspective about money, openness about money, the universe will let that money flow to us. And so, in the example I want to use inside this chapter, I forget what page it was, 30 something. Got the book right here. It's page 35 in his book, um, Use It or Lose It. That if you let it flow, it will come to you more readily. Um, Maybe not right away, maybe not in your time frame, but if you just relax into serving others. And when I say others, I also mean ourselves, meaning taking good care of ourselves, taking good care of us health-wise, spiritual-wise, monetarily, meaning money. And money is just a tool, right? It's just a tool. It's simply a tool. But the universe will send money more where the resistance is less, where it flows easier too. So one of the things that Nelson talks about is paying interest on a loan that you may have taken with a whole life policy, right? You're taking it against your policy and collateralizing your policy to take the loan, and the insurance company takes it out of their general fund. Consequently, your money never gets touched, right? Um, it just continues to grow forever because it's compounding uninterrupted forever, which is a whole other discussion. But so when you let it flow, the universe tends to give you more of it because you use it for good, and with that, so as an example, a lot of us have heard about the story of the talents, right? The master goes away, but before he leaves, he gives 5 talents to one, he gives 3 to another, and 1 to another. And the guy with 5 doubled it, and the other guy, he grew it also, but the third guy put it in a safe place so that it would be there when the master came back. It didn't grow, it didn't flow, it really didn't flow. So this is in the Bible, in a sense, that if money is restricted, it will find another place to go. So what happened in the story is that when the master came back, the guy that uh, kept it safe and didn't grow it, that was taken from him. And on this page, Nelson first starts out by talking. He has Mark 4:25. For he that hath, to him shall be given, and he that hath not, from him shall be taken, even that which he hath. So being a good steward, being honest with ourselves, in that when we take a loan, whether it's, when we take a loan from our own banking system, an entity that we own, don't think of it uh, as a piggy bank, meaning that you don't have to pay above and beyond. You don't have to pay what you would have if you had gone out into the marketplace. Now, yes, you are paying to the insurance company. So let's say you decide to pay 15%, 10% to yourself and 5% to the insurance company. So that's 15%. You might say, well, why would I do that? It's my money. I should be able to do what I want. But you're not being honest with yourself. You're not being a good steward of growing your capital. So that being said, there is a thing called, the acronym is EVA, and it stands for Economic Value Added. And if you look it up, you'll find that this concept of EVA, economic value added, has come in and out of existence for hundreds of years, if not thousands, but certainly hundreds of years. And in 1993, I think he talks about it in this on this page. In September of '93, an article came out in Fortune magazine and probably a lot of other places about this company that was sharing this concept of EVA, economic value added, with corporations. And when I say corporations, I'm talking about Coca-cola, Quaker Oats, Briggs and Stratton, some major companies, all right? And so they were being taught how to use this, and they're being taught because they don't really understand the concept of paying yourself um, the value of money, paying yourself the use of money. So whether you're borrowing from the commercial bank down the street or you're borrowing from an entity that you own, in this case, a whole life policy, you still need to be a good steward. And when you are a good steward, you're doing it out of the concept of having an abundance mindset. Have an abundance mindset because there is abundance everywhere. If you just look out in nature, there is abundance everywhere, right? When you look inside, I'll just use an analogy of an apple seed. When you look at that apple seed, that single apple seed, it can be difficult to imagine how that could grow into millions upon millions. There isn't even a number you can put to it because it's actually infinite. So the possibilities for growth of our capital is infinite. The only restriction is us. And so if you put forth your abundance mindset and let your money flow, don't think of it as, oh, well, I want to buy this, instead of putting the capital into another life insurance uh, policy, I want to put it into a new Corvette, whatever that might be. But if you put it into another system, and when I say system, it's another policy becomes part of the system. So if you have multiple policies, you have a system of a cash flow mechanism, a monetary, personal monetary system inside your family, inside your company. Um, and so because we're starting a business doing this, the first thing to get into our heads is that when we take loans, we're going to pay them back with interest above and beyond what the insurance company is charging us, also known as EVA. Now, some of these companies that started that, they start with the, and I'm going to just say that this is the same for us personally, right? So there's some EVA does work, but there's some common mistakes. So that was 1993, this article comes out. And then in 1995, May 1st of 1995, another article came out, and it was titled EVA Works, but not if you make these common mistakes. And the common mistakes is you don't make it a way of life. So when you start your own banking according to the Nelson Nash way, you have to make it a way of life. You begin to think like a banker. You're obviously thinking like a consumer already, but to think like a banker as well, that's where it gets a little tricky in the sense that you have to change the way your mind thinks about it. Let's see. So then a lot of times we implement it too fast. Well, I don't know if that would be a problem for us. You can implement it, but you're not going to be allowed to implement it any more than you are financially able. In other words, you can't just pull money out of thin air and start a policy. You actually have to have some sort of income to start these things. Maybe you lack conviction, and these are the same things that corporations had problems with. Okay, I'm saying this to the corporations and to us personally. And then we fuss too much about it. Does this really work? Why are we having to go through all this? And then coming to understand it, we only give ourselves, let's just say we give ourselves 6 months to learn this and implement it. It's like so many things. If you take the 6 months, yes, and understand how you want to implement it and get it going, that's great. But to stop there can be a mistake because there's like so many other things in life. The more you stay in tune with it, continue to learn about it, continue to practice it, continue to listen to a DVD series about it, read books about it over and over and over, like Becoming Your Own Banker. I've listened to it probably 8 times. I've read it 3 or 4 times in the past 2 years. I've probably read it at least a dozen times, but I listen to it as well because you can get it on Audible, you know. And every time I listen, every time I watch the DVD, I learn a little bit more. So you have to give yourself that discipline of continuing to learn, staying up on top of your knowledge behind these things. So if this is good for corporations, and it is good because I'm going to attach these links to this article, these 2 articles, and you can read for yourself about how these companies stocks a few years, 2 years down the road went through the roof where they were faltering. And when people go to pick stocks, they are looking at profitability. Is this company growing? Well, one of the clear indicators is EVA. When you look at economic value added, you can see that this company is growing their wealth. If it's shrinking their wealth, you're not going to buy that stock. So with your own banking system, as it grows and you implement this concept of paying yourself just like you would a regular bank if you were borrowing money directly from them, above and beyond. I'm not talking about the life insurance company. I'm talking about the commercial bank down the street. If you borrow from them, you're going to pay them interest, whatever it is, and you're going to sign up for all their terms. But if you do it through a policy loan, you're completely in charge. In other words, you decide how much you're going to pay back, when you're going to pay it back, but you want to be disciplined and charge yourself, in this case, I'll just say an EVA percentage, which helps grow your business, right? So if you have a company outside of the banking system and you are using EVA, when you borrow money, you are borrowing money and paying yourself above and beyond just to pay it back. You're paying yourself a percentage because of you're using your money, and your money has value to be used. So if it's good for major corporations and to grow their stock price, push it up because of it, it just automatically happens because investors are looking for those kinds of companies where their wealth is growing. If it's good for them, it's a good practice for us as well. And the power of that. So Nelson uses the example of the grocery store. And if you are using EVA, if you will, in your grocery store, then when it comes time for you to retire and you're going to sell that store, and your competition down the road hasn't been using EVA, and the investor goes to look at your books in comparison to theirs, who do you think they're going to want to buy? And who do you think they're going to pay a premium for? It's because you have been a good steward of your money, and money has to flow. And if it flows, it grows. It's the prosperity mindset. It's the abundance mindset. The abundance mindset that we create, and that the universe will guide the money to us in its own time. It may take years. It may never show up, but I want to say that doesn't really matter. It isn't about the money. It's about serving your family, serving your business, serving generations within your family that are unknown. You're serving them. And then in your business, whether you're at work and you have a job you go to, or you have your own company, it's about serving your clients, serving your end user. It's about helping one another. That's what really about life, in my opinion. We're here to take care of one another. And so, one way to be a good steward with our finances is to have a policy which becomes your entity that you own and control. You have access to the capital to do whatever it is that you want to invest in, whether you want to buy a small business or you want to start a business or you want to make an investment. But be a good steward of it, and it will reward you. The universe will reward you. So, anyway, that's about all I have to say today. Thank you very much for listening, and please do reach out if you have any questions about this and would like to know more. Um, and I will continue to study and share what I learned. So, anyway, until next time, take care.